That chat with the CEO of Pronetics, and they're the company they're supplying the COVID-19 test to the Premier League. And today I wanted to focus on V Health Passports, this new technology that, if it's implemented, it could help bring back other sports behind closed doors and also, crucially, pave the way for fans to come back to stadiums sooner. So I spoke to the founder of the V Health Passport, that's Lewis James Davis. He told me how this technology could supplement testing and also how he'd like to collaborate with Pronetics to work across sports, including the Premier League.
With the testing itself, it's not really valid or relevant unless you've got a document that verifies that you've had that test and it was actually you. So with the V Health Passport, you have to be onboarded to the system via a doctor that onboards you through the testing process and issues you with the V code. You don't have a V code unless you've been tested by the doctor. So that is the single point of truth, is your V code being scanned by the other person. So I think they run complementary with the Pronetics offering. And we have had chats over the weekend with Pronetics. Obviously, we just supply the technology. We're not a test provider, Pronetics are. And hopefully we can come to some sort of arrangement where we go hand in hand there.
So that was Lewis James Davis. He's the founder of the V Health Passport. Now, I'm told that at this stage, the Premier League are very comfortable with the current agreement they have with Pronetics. Each club, they've got their own designated COVID-19 officer who is not actually a member of their own medical staff. And they oversee the testing, but the testing is actually done by independent trained professionals. At the moment, you've got players taking tests twice a week with an accuracy of 98.8%. But I'm told that 2 tests within a 3-day gap gives a 99.9% accuracy. Now, what was quite interesting was the government, they're now looking at enforcing a 14-day quarantine period on new arrivals in the UK, which would be major problems for the F1 at Silverstone and also, I guess, for English clubs still in European competitions and other sports looking to bring international fixtures back, like cricket as well this summer. I spoke to the former sports minister, Richard Caborn. He believes that a V Health Passport could encourage the government to make some exceptions.
If sport is adopting this, and we're in discussion with a number of sports. Let's take snooker. Again, the World Championships should be taking place. I think it's in August. If you've actually got the passporting set up in the way that we're talking about, with the testing and the security of the passport, that should be able to reassure government. So technology should be able to be used effectively in these areas. How quickly we can move that into getting into passport, I think quite quickly, then you would actually be able to, as it were, dispense with that quarantine because you would have the verification of the person already in there. So there are ways around that. As I say, Snooker World Championships, that's bringing people in from around the world, and I think that could take place if indeed we use something like a passporting system to verify that these people are clear and clean.
So that was Richard Caborn, the former sports minister. So at the moment, those in government, they've been very vocal in their wish to get elite sport back as soon as possible, with a lot of this available on free-to-air. So I'd ask Richard if he thinks that's the right approach.
The morale of the nation is very low, as we know. But I think with live sport coming back, it would be a huge boost to the nation, and it would, I think, just lift a lot of the doom and gloom that's around there, because sports are very powerful, as we all know, very powerful medium in which to, as it were, to lift the nation. So it's important we get that. But it's got to be safe, and we've got to make sure, and I think at the moment the discussion between government and sport, the governing bodies, is the right way forward, and that is taking place and hopefully will bear fruit.
So that was the voice of the former sports minister, Richard Caborn. There was some criticism of the government for the initial handling of the pandemic, with sporting bodies such as the Premier League actually acting before the government to postpone sporting fixtures. I asked Richard what he's made of the government's handling, which did include allowing Cheltenham Festival to still go ahead.
I think you can learn a lot, obviously, James, and you can, and I can be critical, obviously, but some of us have been there, had to deal with nothing like this situation. But I think what the challenge now is to let's learn from that. If that happens, then at least we can say there's been some good come out of it. Yeah, I can sit here and I can criticise a lot of people, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to say it's a difficult job. What we're trying to do is be constructively helpful to making sure we come out of it as quickly as possible and we learn from those mistakes and actually gain from that.
And finally, in terms of learning from mistakes, do you think Matt Hancock made a mistake when he called out Premier League footballers, it did feel like they came in for some unfair criticism.
Yeah, absolutely, James. Let me tell you, you don't name people like that as a minister, I can assure you, because if you do, you'll have it round your neck. Not very good, badly briefed, should not have done it.
So that was the brilliant former sports minister, Richard Caborn there. And he spoke really well, I thought, about the fact that it would be a big boost to public morale to get football back. I'm not sure what you think, Glenn, but when you watched the Bundesliga at the weekend, did that make you want the Premier League back even more?
Well, to be brutally honest, I didn't watch it. I didn't see it at all. I was occupied. But I spoke to a few mates that did watch it and thought that it went reasonably well. So if it's working over there, then of course, for baby steps, then you want to see it over here as well.
Yeah, he spoke well, actually, James. Very well indeed. Glenn, we haven't had the chance to ask you before we head to a final break today. Yesterday, Watford confirmed that, Troy Deeney not at training, and neither were other players who share similar concerns, but the club was comfortable with that. Are you comfortable with that when you hear that?
We've said
making a decision, you've got to respect them.
Yeah, exactly. And I think everyone's got, at the minute, there's no right and wrong. I think everyone's in different positions in terms of some guys have got young families and obviously children, and some younger players might live on their own, so they'll have maybe less worries. But I think look, we're in a pandemic. I don't think anyone can be right or wrong. But one thing's for sure, if the players are training and playing, they're going to be in pretty much the safest environment you can be in. As James said, they're going to be tested every 2 days or whatever it was.
Yeah.
They're going to be training in the big wide open spaces outdoors. So arguably, it's one of the safest places they could be at the minute.
For sure. James, thank you very much indeed. Good chat that with the former sports minister, Richard Caborn. Interestingly, Spencer was listing his top 5 boxing upsets, but there's Seeker. A lot of boxing fans listening, which is great.